Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm sorry that it's been a little while since I posted. Just kind of took a little, I guess you could call it a vacation. Not really, just been away from home. But this ratchet, and actually the screwdriver I used to get it apart, was sent in by Carolina Abbey Tools. You can go to his website, and he has new old stock, memorabilia, just a really broad selection, different brands, that kind of thing. And you can follow him on Facebook. He's here on YouTube. Great guy. Me and him have chatted quite a bit, but he did send this in, as well as the screwdriver, among some other things, and I really appreciate that. I do have one similar to this. Mine is a military issue. I bought off a guy whose father was in Vietnam, overseas, back in the late 60s, early 70s. So I'm basing this off of around that time period. I'm not a snap-on collector per se, so I really can't say 100%. So if anyone wants to correct me on that, that's perfectly fine and acceptable. This I thoroughly enjoyed this design. This is a kind of an old school. They had this same concept, same premise for a long time, until the finer tooth ratchet fad became so widespread with the dual 80 and now the recent 100 tooth, quote unquote, design came out. And then as far as the gear, this is the gear. Not very many teeth, as you can see. It's very coarse. I like a good coarse ratchet. For what I do, it's not as tight a space, so coarse ratchets work. The D10 in the ball looks phenomenal, really. As well as the teeth, there's a little minor wear, but nothing too awfully bad. And when he sent this in to me, he said there was a little bit of a slip in one direction, and I think it's due to this. If you see, you can see the ball bearing where the paw rides has a spring in there, just like any other Danaher, but just any Batwing paw ratchet. I think just the spring is wore. So as far as the repair kits go for this thing, I mean, I wouldn't really be that concerned with it, especially since it is more of a collector's piece than a daily use. I'm sure somebody out there uses one. I wouldn't, it's not that bad to the point of like, oh, it needs warranted. But if that does kind of bother you, I would say maybe eBay. You can talk to, depends on how good of a dealer you have. Talk to him about it, and see what they can come up with. So, the broaching itself looks really, really good. I mean, the whole ratchet itself looks pretty well. I mean, there's a little bit of a surface rust on there. I think I can probably get with some steel wool once I do get back home. So you can see the shine there. As far as the switch, obviously it's high because this is a coarse ratchet, an older ratchet. So the low profile hadn't quite took hold yet, but is it different? And I wish I had my military issue, because it is different. So I'm not sure if this one has been rebuilt before, if there was a change in maybe the dates of when this one was made, when that one was made, or if it was just a military had to have that kind that way back in the day, you know. So the switch itself goes through the pawl and looks like it's pinned down with a punch or something to keep it in place. And I've seen that on a newer Williams USA. It does the same thing, very similar. And it looks like a little pin that goes all the way through. The little black pin goes all the way through, and it is also flared. So I think that's pretty interesting. As far as screws go, these little, see, mine again are a little bit different than this, and I'll try to post a follow-up video to this ratchet with my own. I could not tell you the thread pitch of that right off, but very small. Something to definitely get lost. As far as the faceplate goes, that is way different than the Cobalt I posted on here the other day. Any of the Craftsman ratchets, I mean, it's on par, almost in league of its own. I think my proto ratchets have something along the lines similar, thickness wise, very, very well built. This ratchet was built to last for sure. I mean, it wasn't built for the warranty, it was built to last forever. And I mean, that just goes to show, you know, that's what made Snap-on was things like this, you know. And then you got Snap-on now, which I have a toolbox full of Snap-on tools. Not really a fanboy, I just love not that, but that, you know. It's just, you know, this is what built the name for Snap-on now, the Snap-on today. I just feel like it's kind of just price gouging, you know. I mean, that's why I tell everybody starting out, you know, check out garage sales, you know, pawn shops, things of that nature, you know, Marketplace, Facebook. I mean, you can find, if you look up the OEMs of the Craftsmans and the first generation Cobalts and see the names of the companies that actually made the tools for that brand, they're top tier, some of them. So, like I said, as far as the slipping, I don't think it slips. I think it just has a lot of back drag in one direction. Because I fiddled with it a while, trying to see if it would ever slip, and it didn't. But if you notice, the paw is one tooth. Gear, I mean, you wouldn't definitely notice a slip, I think. Going back to the gear, just the finish of it, you know, it just looks very well built. I mean, let's see if I can get it to focus. I mean, just like that there, you know, those little lines there, from where, I'm not sure the metallurgy description of that, but I mean, you just don't see that on a modern ratchet. You mean, you get the black oxide finish, and that's it. I mean, that was all made in one piece, and I mean, it's just very well built. And as far as screwdriver goes, great screwdriver, great tip on it. Has a little surface rust. When I get back to the house, I'm going to try to clean up as best I can. Push comes to shove, I do have some Western Forge regular clear handle screwdrivers I can replace the entire shank in, which super easy. Not sure on the 8th how difficult it would be since it's so small, but I know the bigger ones, your quarters, 5/16, 3/16 even, it's pretty easy. Checking the vise here, I usually use like a small pry bar or something and just pop it right off, and then you can tap the handle with a rubber mallet on a new one, and it's pretty easy. That's how I replace my I watched videos on it, done it a couple of times, warranted my dad's snap-on set of screwdrivers, and that's what the snap-on guy does, so I think it's universal. This is a Western Forge, always nice. There's the date code, the K, which has slipped my mind at the moment. And your number, Craftsman, made in USA. These were sold in a set. They had red ones too that were, I probably wasn't even born yet at the time, to be honest, but I think they were in a bin by the door, from what I've heard, from what I've read, for like $1, like quarter and 5/16. And I have a couple of those. I have one of these, not the 8th, I think it's a 3/16 cabinet driver that the tip was totally gone. I have the handle. This one is not a cabinet screwdriver. Cabinet screwdriver is when it's a totally round shank all the way down. This is just a regular screwdriver. I've seen a lot of people discuss that, why are some round, why are some not. The round ones are so the shank is not wider than the point. Cabinet screwdriver. So yeah, that's just a little backstory on that. These are, from what I've seen, pretty hard to come by in good shape. I have been looking, this is a kind of a ramble, but my personal tool color is the neon green tool color, and it's been my tool color for a very long time. And I know they made a set of drivers that were neon green, and I have looked for years, cannot find one. So that if anybody knows any leads on where one might be, please leave a comment. But as for this video, I think when I get home, I'll try to get the ratchet of the military issue up, as well as I'm going to take this back apart, grease it, clean it. I don't have the stuff with me to do that right now. I just felt like I needed to get a video up, and apologize for the wait. But if you have any comments or questions, try to leave a comment. If you like this video, if you made it to the end of this video, if you would give it a thumbs up, I appreciate it. This is my hobby. Like I said, I don't do this for payment or anything like that. This is not my job, but I do appreciate good quality tools and trying to open people's eyes to what it stands for to be built in the USA, and what that stood for then, and what it should still stand for now. So I appreciate it. Thank you.